You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take it.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. Your talking points lack experience. And this is about, sometimes people being young, for sure being young, and being inexperienced in life. And you hear them on social media and they're making these talking points. And to them, they sound good. And to them, they make sense. But they lack life experience because you might be, believing in a cause that you're going to come to find out led you astray. And what I notice is, it's like a clickbait salesman type of talking thing, and the tone, the pitch, the delivery is very much so similar. They just a newscaster of regurgitating information. So in essence, most people sound exactly the same and they're saying the same thing. And sometimes they believe it a lot of times. And I'm looking at them like, when I was younger, people's like, you don't even know, you too young to know what you're talking about. So, and it wasn't because of my age. It was because I didn't live enough to be on the other side, or I didn't have the wisdom to think about how it would look on the other side. And what I see is people going out here, making statements. And I'm like, look, you're going to change. You're going to do a complete 180 from here to here, because when you get a little life experience, you're going to realize this was a total crocker, you know what. And people go, oh, no, it's not. I mean, let me educate you. Let me tell you where you're wrong. You can't tell me where I'm wrong if I've already been where you've been at. If I already had the thought patterns that you have. Not to say that you're not smart, but you're not smart enough to realize the flaws in the arguments that you present. You're not smart enough to know how this works in practical application in real life. You're not smart enough to go, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying this and I'm going all in with this, but in 5 years, when I grow into a different phase of my life, that's going to be contradictory to this. What I'm saying as a college student sounds good because somebody else is paying the bills, or I'm paying the bill as far as student loans. But when the student loans kick in and I'm an adult, I'm going to say something completely different. I'm making this argument because, oh, I'm a single person with no kids. I'm not a parent. And it makes a whole lot of sense to me because, I don't have any kids. I don't have any responsibilities. But when you have kids, you have responsibilities, all of a sudden, oh, whoa, that doesn't even work right. Right. It doesn't work right. You don't have the experience to know that yet. Or, you're a single person and you're making this talking point. But if you get in a relationship or get married, it's not going to correlate well with your relationship or your marriage. It's like, oh, whoa. Yeah, I know what I said then, but Now take it a step further. A lot of people don't realize, and I'm trying to be nice when I say this. A lot of y'all don't realize at the end of the day, you can't tell the difference between a person who believes it and a person who's just saying it because it can get them clout, money, so on and so forth. So you can't tell the difference, and you're not experiencing enough in life to know when somebody's purposely selling you snake oil because they know you'll buy it. You don't even notice that somebody's like, oh, that person's full of it. They're full of it. And you're like, no, they're not. They believe it. It's like, no, they don't. You can tell that they don't believe it. No, you don't know what you're looking at. And then a few years go by and they go, I can't believe I fell for that. Like, hey, man, like your talking points lack experience. Because if you can be able to differentiate somebody who believes it to somebody who's selling it to you because they know you'll believe it, you'll realize where the hustle is and where the flaw is. But because you haven't lived life long enough and you just buy in everything that somebody's selling you, there's a sucker born every minute and you just happen to be a sucker. And everybody plays the fool sometime. That's an old music lyric. And you're just a fool. And a lot of times when people go, oh, well, you're not saying that because you're saying that because I'm young. I'm saying that because you're inexperienced. I'm saying that because this is a point in life where you're gonna have to sit down and lay in the bed that you made with your beliefs. And then when you're in there, you're gonna go, oh wow, this ain't this ain't what I thought it was. Because you gotta, in every situation, you gotta take the good with the bad. So what happens with a lot of times when you're inexperienced, you're riding for what you think is the good part, but you haven't lived enough to experience the bad part. When somebody goes, well, I mean, that does go with that direction, like that's involved in that. But this is not what I wanted. Well, you signed up for this part, so you got to take that part too. And what happens is you see people making these massive change, these massive things. Well, my dog would trip. These massive change of directions where they become diametrically opposed to the very thing that they defended for so long. Like, how did you become a liberal and become such a conservative? How did you become a conservative and such a liberal? How did you become so intersectionality and now you're so just focused on one particular group? How did that happen? And it's like, oh, what happened was you started living life and you started figuring out you got played. And now, instead of falling back and saying, okay, maybe I shouldn't get played again, you went in the complete opposite direction. And now what you're trying to do is, right the ship by going in the other way. And basically you swung the pendulum too far in one direction and then you swung it too far in another. You never balanced yourself out. So that's, what I'm talking about with this, where some people don't actually comprehend what I'm saying, or they try to, like, I don't get it. Well, that's what I'm saying. So catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Peace.